Everyone, welcome back on Lit Up with Annie. In this session, we will be talking about the Elizabethan theatre in the history of English literature. In one of the previous sessions, we had already discussed the kings and the queens. We talked about the House of Tudor and we talked about the House of Stuart that came after that. If you've not seen that video, please go watch that first and then come back to this one, because it will form a background that how Queen Elizabeth came into being the Queen of England. Let's begin. Oh, one second. Yeah. Elizabethan theatre. Now you all know that when we talk about the golden period of drama, everyone who is in this literature background thinks about the Elizabethan age, because yes, this era was known for its beautiful dramas, or I would say a variety of dramas that were there. We had historical works, we had comedies, we had tragedies, and so many good playwrights they were there in the Elizabethan theatre. It was a very vibrant and a transformative period in the history of English literature and drama. By the time Marlowe was writing, there was a new kind of audience. If we go a little back and we look at the development of drama as a genre, we see that mystery plays we talked about morality plays, we talked about interludes. What kind of audience was there at that point of time? Mystery and morality plays, everybody would go. All common people would go and watch the plays, mystery and morality plays. And when we talk about interludes, later on they were performed for the elite at the court. Now obviously elite people would not go into the public and stand there to watch the plays. So yes, interludes were there which were performed for the elites at the court. Later on what happened, both these audience, these mystery and morality plays audience, interludes key audience, they all got mixed. All the sensibilities of these audience, it got mixed, and these two groups came together to form an audience that was mixed across classes, all kinds of people, professions, all trades. And that was the audience that was there that came into being in the Elizabethan age. And by the time Marlowe was also writing, and there was this new kind of an audience, and you all know that Marlowe's works are famous for the tragedies that it has, beautiful. Elizabethan theatre refers to the theatrical productions that took place during the reign of Elizabeth I, and the date is 1558 to 1603. See, there are so many plays which go beyond 1603, like for example Shakespeare. See, Shakespeare is the biggest name when it comes to Elizabethan theatre. But there are so many plays that go beyond 1603 for Shakespeare, and it goes into the Jacobean era. But still, many of them are still looked upon under the Elizabethan age only. Now this era is often called the golden age of English drama. There are some things that were there historically. The first one is that for the first time fixed theatres were formed. They were established in London. So the most iconic playhouse that was developed was the Globe Theatre. It was built in 1599. It was a round theatre and it was open air amphitheatre. There was no roof. It was made of wood, and where many of Shakespeare's plays were performed. I am sure you've heard about the Globe. Then there were, later on small number of theatres came which were completely enclosed, like later Blackfriars. So obviously if it was completely enclosed, there was no light, so maximum of the plays were performed in the daytime. Certain props were used, curtains were used, Then there were other notable playhouses which were the Rose, the Swan, the Fortune. These were some of the other theatres. These theatres were crucial in shaping the style and popularity of Elizabethan drama. So this is one main feature of Elizabethan theatre, fixed theatres. Of course, if there are fixed theatres, their established theatre companies. When there were mystery and miracle plays, we had the guilds who took care of performances of all the plays. But now when there are theatres, there came theatre companies. The most famous theatre companies of the time were, again, I'm sure you must have heard, Lord Chamberlain's men. And then there was the Admiral's men. Later on, what happened? Both of these merged and they formed the King's men. These companies were led by renowned playwrights like William Shakespeare. The actors played a crucial role in the success and development of the English theatre. And these actors, they became so famous that at one point of time, the audience would actually go to the theatre to watch their favorite actor playing. For example, Richard Burbage became so famous, even William Kempe. And there were so many actors like that audience would actually go to see their favorite actors to the theatre. The most famous actor of the era was Richard Burbage. He was a member of the Lord Chamberlain's men. And he played so many main roles, of Shakespeare's most iconic roles like Hamlet, Othello, King Lear. Then there was Edward Allen also, another prominent actor. He was associated with Admiral's men and is known for his performances in Christopher Marlowe's plays. After that, costumes. So costumes were also very essential part of the performances. They were dressed in lively costumes, with bright, colourful costumes that they would wear. And these costumes, it would help to distinguish characters and communicate social status. At that point of time, actors they would also communicate directly with the audience. And audience, as a teen sides pe audience would actually be there. Some of the VIP seats, so they were also there on the stage as well. So they had this talent of interacting with the audience very nicely. Then we have the main playwrights. Who were the main playwrights? William Shakespeare is the most celebrated playwright of the Elizabethan era. His works, tragedies हैं like Hamlet, comedies हैं like A Midsummer Night's Dream, they remain influential to this day. That even now Shakespeare is performed. Shakespeare's plays are performed. They are adapted. So many Bollywood movies you will see are adaptations of Shakespeare's plays. There are so many Indian adaptations, so many books even now being published on Shakespeare's works. Other prominent playwrights include Christopher Marlowe, Ben Jonson and Thomas Kidd. They were all writing during this time. So the Elizabethan theatre, it laid foundation for the modern English drama, obviously, because this is the golden age that drama flourished, and it has laid foundation for the English drama and literature. Many of the conventions established during this period still influence theatre today. Shakespeare's works in particular continue to be performed, studied, adapted globally, making him one of the most enduring literary figures in history. So this is about the background to Elizabethan theatre. We will also do the background to the Renaissance prose, what was the prose writers and all of that in the next session. I hope this is clear. Please read from the history books more about the background of this period, and in the other sessions we will talk about the works of these playwrights. Please share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.